Newcastle are the biggest club in the northeast, but they haven't won a major trophy since 1969. Now though, they are one of the world's richest clubs, so I've been hired as the club's new manager with the hope that I will bring major success to the club. Hey, how's it going? And welcome to the Newcastle rebuild, a team who are definitely on the rise but have yet to reach their full potential. So in this rebuild, I am officially the manager, although you would say that I'll be doing the director of football's job here with Newcastle. I will sign the players, I will sign the contracts on for the players as well. Also, I'll be selecting the tactics. That is the only thing I'll be doing in terms of the day-to-day running of the club. Everything else in terms of the match day and all that will fall to the assistant manager whilst I go on holiday for the season. So I won't be in charge of any of the matches, the subs, giving the players game time, stuff like that. I will be selecting the tactic though, which obviously the assistant manager will be following. But the most important thing about this rebuild is to make sure Newcastle get to where they belong, which is one of the biggest clubs in the world, if not the biggest club in the world, due to their massive finances these days. Also, I'll be signing many players, hopefully for big money, and I'll build an amazing squad here of Newcastle. So this is a brief history about Newcastle. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the club. I'm pretty sure all of you are familiar with the club, to be honest. They're not as big as we think they are, to be honest. They're obviously a big club, especially in the northeast of England, and they've got a lot of passionate fans, that is, of course. But in terms of their history, it is not the best history, that is for sure. They've won four league titles. They've also won 6 FA Cups. They've won whatever that is, 1 Europa League, 4 Championship titles, 1 Community Shield, and 1 Anglo-Italian Cup. Whenever on earth that is, Anglo-Italian Cup. So no League Cups to their name, Newcastle. They got to the final last season, where they lost to Man United, of course, but that is obviously not the most important thing. Also, what's missing on there is, of course, the Champions League. I said the history isn't great, but they have won 4 league titles. They've won 6 FA Cups. They've won a European trophy in the Europa League as well, but they haven't won a major trophy since 1969, so that is what we're here for. We've got a massive budget here of Newcastle, so hopefully the success will come around very, very quickly. I'm not expecting too much in the first couple of seasons, to be honest. I've had a quick look at the squad, and I feel like the team needs strengthening drastically, to be honest with you. Media prediction this season is 5th, so I won't be too disappointed if we don't qualify for next season's Champions League. Newcastle at the moment in real life are sitting down in 10th place in the league, so it looks like Champions League is off the cards for them in real life, that is for sure. So in terms of the squad, I don't think top 4 is that realistic. It could happen. Wouldn't be that surprising if it does happen, but hopefully in the first season we can secure a top 7 finish at least and get some sort of European football for next season. Well, looking at the club vision here, nothing too bad to look out for here. Develop players using the club's youth system. I plan to do that anyway. Hopefully we can get some good players coming through the youth system. Lewis Miley is probably the biggest prospect at the club. Grow the club's reputation. We're only a 4-star reputation team at the moment, and to be honest, by the end of the rebuild, I'm expecting us to be a 5-star reputation team, so that shouldn't be too worrisome there. Increase commercial revenue as well, should be quite comfortable with that. Work within wage budget as well. Seeing as we'll probably get a massive wage budget as we go along here in the rebuild, that shouldn't be too hard either. And the 5-year plan here, end of current season, is qualify for the Champions League. So they're expecting us to finish in the top 4 of the Premier League. Also, I should mention that, of course, for the sake of the rebuild, as with my other rebuilds as well, I make myself unsackable so I can continue working with Newcastle. So it doesn't really matter if we fail in some regard in terms of losing my job. Obviously, for the pride, it definitely hurts. But yeah, I won't be sacked here with Newcastle. I've made myself unsackable for the sake of the rebuild here. Challenge for the FA Cup as well. Reach the latter stage of the Champions League and be competitive in the Carabao Cup. So yeah, expect a little bit from us in the first season here. All of those things are definitely doable in my opinion. Whether we'll do them well is a different question. This is more of a marathon, not a sprint here of Newcastle. At the end of the 2025, 26 and the 27 season is to work towards challenging for the Premier League title. And the end of the 28 season is winning domestic cup and challenge for the Premier League title. So hopefully we'll be doing that in 5 years' time. Hopefully we'll be doing more than that in 5 years' time. The first season though, I just want to get a feel-good factor in the club. Hopefully try and find the right tactic for the players and hopefully sign some players as well. Well, looking at the squad, there's definitely positions we need to strengthen in. Also, as you can see, the squad is very large at the moment. 27 players in the first team squad. For me personally, 25 is my absolute maximum in the first team, so hopefully we can trim that down. In terms of finances as well, as you can see, not a lot of money to work with at the moment, only £5 million in the transfer budget and only 135k under the wage budget, so that is not going to buy you too many good players here with Newcastle, so it's quite paramount we need to sell players to buy players. Let's go by positions here with the club. Let's see what is going on, where we need to strengthen. Well, first things first, we've got 4 goalkeepers here in the first team squad, so obviously 4 goalkeepers is definitely 1 too many, maybe 2 too many as well. And looking at the keepers here, I think it's pretty obvious who our standout goalkeeper is, and that is Nick Pope, of course. But Nick Pope is a great goalkeeper in real life, but as you can see from him here, from his attributes, there's certain positions of his game that don't really live up to expectation, to be honest. His kicking ability is terrible, a 7 kicking rating there. He's also got really bad first touch. His passing is poor as well. He's got poor composure, only 9 composure, and 6 vision. So I think it's safe to say that Nick Pope is not really the sweeper keeper I like to go for. Those of you who watched my previous rebuilds do know that I do like a good sweeper keeper at the club, and Nick Pope, although he is a good goalkeeper, he's definitely a great goalkeeper. Let's point out some great attributes he's got as well, like 18 one-on-ones, 18 aerial reach as well, 16 reflexes, 16 handling. He's definitely very good, but he's not really a goalkeeper we need in the sticks for us in terms of passing out from the back. He's definitely a Premier League goalkeeper, but is he a Champions League level goalkeeper? Is he a Champions League winning goalkeeper? I don't think so. He's definitely good though. He'll do for now, but going forward, I'll be looking to sign a better goalkeeper, that is for sure. An all-round better goalkeeper than Nick Pope. And as you can see, we've got 3 backup goalkeepers here. We've got Loris Karius, we've got Mark Gillespie, and we've got Martin Dubravka. He's actually a wanted man. He's wanted by Al Shabab. So one of these 3 need to leave. And seeing that Gillespie is homegrown in the nation, and Dubravka is also 4 years older than Karius, and he's got a team after him. Dubravka will probably be the player I'd look to sell, to be honest. As you can see here, he's £4.6 million valuation. I've already offered him out, already asked the agent about market interest. He is the goalkeeper I want to sell. He's only a backup goalkeeper at the club. He's a decent one, but we've got Nick Pope ahead of him. We've also got Karius, who's on a similar level as well. So in terms of goalkeepers, I don't think I need to buy one this season, especially with the money we've got. It'd be hard to bring in a better goalkeeper than Nick Pope with that money. So I'm looking just to sell one Dubravka, get him off the wage bill. He's on 45k a week. We'll also get a little bit of money in the transfer budget. In terms of the defence, well, in terms of the full-back position, well, right back, I'm obviously quite happy with the right back position. We've got Kieran Trippier at the club. We've also got Livramento, who's only 20 years of age and still developing. We've also got Emil Kraft at the club and Javi Manquillo. Obviously, I don't need 4 right backs. 2 will suffice. So I'm looking to sell Kraft and Manquillo, to be honest. The problem with Kraft, though, is he's actually got damaged cruciate ligaments. He's out between 3 to 4 months, so obviously won't be able to sell him in this window, so he'll stay at the club. But Javi Manquillo, he's another one I'm trying to sell. He's transfer listed at the club. He's only wanted for loans, though, from Brentford and Luton, but hopefully we can get him out of the club at least. He's only on 40k a week, so again, not going to make too much difference to the wage budget or the transfer budget, but hopefully just get rid of some of this dead wood, such as Dubravka and Manquillo and Kraft as well, when he finally returns from injury. In terms of the left-back position, we've got Matt Targett, who's alright. He's decent as a backup left back, to be honest. He's also homegrown in the nation, of course. He's only on 80k a week. I think only 80k a week is quite a lot of money. I won't mind that, but in terms of the bigger players in the squad, not that much. So as a squad player, I'd like to keep Matt Targett around, to be honest. He seems alright. Also, we've got Dan Burn at the club as well. More of a centre-back than a left-back, to be honest. His physical attributes are not great at all, apart from his jumping reach and his strength, of course. And also we've got Paul Dummett at the club as well, who's homegrown at the club, been at the club his entire career, as you can see there, apart from a couple of loans out. But clearly, he is nowhere near good enough to play for Newcastle United as a regular starter at least. So the left-back position is definitely worrisome, that is for sure. Targett is our best left-back at the club. Dan Burns more of a centre-back. Dummett is no more than a fringe player. So left-back, it seems like it could be a priority position for me, to be honest. But for the first season, Matt Targett could do as our number 1 left-back, to be honest. But we shall see what money I can raise in terms of player sales. Also in the under-21s, we've got Lewis Hall, of course, who's a high prospect left-back at the club. But to be honest, it says he's a 2.5-star player, but I firmly disagree with that, to be honest, because he looks way off the standard to be a starting left back here for us at the club. He's not very good. He's not very good in any position, to be honest with you. He's just nowhere near good enough. I don't think he's good enough to play League One football, let alone Premier League football. He has got some benefits though, of course. He's very versatile. He's only 18 years of age, almost 19. But one other annoying thing about Lewis Hall is he's loaned from Chelsea. He's joining permanently end of the season. Because he's on loan to us, I can't loan him out, of course, to get him some good game time. And for me, he's nowhere near ready to play first team football. So I'm sticking with the under-21s for now. Hopefully he can develop a little bit. We shall see. Other prospects in the under-21s, we've got Lewis Miley, of course. 2-star player, potentially 4 stars, but similar to Lewis Hall, he's nowhere near ready for first team football. He's only 17 years of age still as well, so plenty of room to develop for Lewis Miley. Hopefully he'll become useful for us towards the later stages of the rebuild. Other than that, not really too many players lingering here in under 21s. We've got a few players out on loan, such as Fraser, Jamal Lewis, and Yankuba Minte, who has got a 5-star potential ability. So I'm looking forward to seeing him come back. And in the under 18 squad, as you can see, there is nothing lingering in the under 18 squad. So this squad of 27 players here is the 27 I'll use for the season. Well, hopefully less than that if I sell some players. In terms of the centre-back position, again, I'm not really too happy with the centre-back position, to be honest. The right-back position is good, as I said. Trippier and Livramento. Trippier is a very good player, one of our best players, of course. And Livramento is a high potential right-back. Trippier is 32, of course, but Livramento, it looks like he's the number 1 candidate to take Trippier's position. Left back is definitely worrisome, the most problem area I've seen so far the team. But centre back as well is definitely problemsome. We've got Fabian Schär, we've got Dan Burn, of course, Sven Botman, and Jamal Lascelles. Sven Botman, he's definitely a good centre back. Not so great physically, to be honest. He hasn't got great pace, only 12 acceleration, and 12 pace is quite weak. But to be honest, we shouldn't moan about him too much. He's one of the better players in the squad. Still young as well, 23 years of age. So I'm quite happy with the left-sided centre-back with Sven Botman. But the right-sided centre-back, Fabian Schär, he's 31 years of age, almost 32. Again, he's quite good, to be honest. Overall, as a centre-back, he's quite good. The only 2 weak points about our 2 centre-backs are their physical attributes. Fabian Schär is even slower than Botman. So we've got a very slow centre-back partnership in Schär and Botman. And to be honest, the cover for those two is my main concern. Jamal Lascelles is absolutely atrocious here at FootballManager. Absolutely atrocious. He should not be playing Premier League football at all. And to think that he's our 4th choice centre-back is very, very worrying, to be honest. As a standard centre-back, he's not that bad. He looks like a championship level centre-back. But as a ball-playing defender centre-back, nowhere near good enough. 10 first touch, 10 passing, and 10 technique. Also, he's got poor composure 11. He's got 4 vision. 4 vision. So Jamal Lascelles is another one that needs to be sold, but again, hasn't got the greatest of values there. Only 2.7 to 5.8 million. Obviously, Dan Burn is another centre-back at the club as well. Again, not very quick, so I'd like to sign another centre-back, to be honest. A centre-back with pace would be ideal. I think centre-back is our main... The main position I need to strengthen in the defence is centre-back. Obviously, a centre-back is more important than a left-back. And Matt Targett isn't that bad for 1 season. And the cover at centre-back is terrible. If Sven Botman got an injury, a damaged cruciate ligaments or something, we are absolutely screwed. So a centre-back is needed, 100%. Hopefully I can sign one. A left-back will be second on my list. In terms of midfield, well, I am going with a 4-2-3-1 style formation with 2 DMs, as you can see there. And the problem with that is we've only got 3 DMs at the club. Granted, though, 2 of them are very, very good. One of them's amazing. Bruno Guimaraes is clearly an outstanding player. Technically, he's unbelievable. 18 passing, 18 technique, 18 first touch as well. Also got 18 composure. One weak part of his game, though, is his physical attributes. He's not physically that great, to be honest. Also, won't be playing with a deep line playmaker on defend, which is his best role. I'll be playing with a DM on support and also a Segundo Volante on support as well. So he's not quite the best in those roles, but let's be honest, he's the best player at the club, arguably. 25 years of age. He's got 8 caps for Brazil as well, and he's got some outstanding attributes. So I'm very happy with Guimaraes at this stage, that is for sure. And also Sandro Tonali at the club as well. 23 years of age. He's overall a very good player. He can play different to Guimaraes, who's just more suited to the deep line playmaker role. Sandro Tonali can play numerous different roles, which is very convenient. So those 2 as a pair is very nice, Tonali and Guimaraes. Problem is the backup. Sean Longstaff, he's a homegrown player at the club, so I'm expecting to keep him around for the entirety of the rebuild, to be honest. Obviously, need 4 homegrown players at the club for the Champions League registration, which hopefully will be competing in most of the season. So Sean Longstaff, not the greatest player, but only on 30k a week, which is very cheap for a club like Newcastle. And he's not terrible. He's not terrible as a fringe player. A 4th, 5th choice DM, he'll do, to be honest with you. But the problem is, again, if we get an injury to Guimaraes or Tonali, we haven't really got any cover for them. So we need at least 1 DM as well. So looking at the squad so far, a centre-back and a DM is definitely needed if we can somehow sell some players to raise some funds, or maybe bring some players in on loan. I don't know as of yet, but that is definitely what I need to strengthen at the club. In terms of the attack midfield position, I'll be playing with attack midfield centre. Joe Willock's here at the club. Although it says he only plays centre midfield, if you look at him, he can actually play in 7 positions, really. Obviously, he's competent in all of them. Natural centre midfielder, so as attacker midfielder, that's probably going to be his best role at the club in this style. And he's quite decent. He's quite decent. 23 years of age. Again, he's English, so he's homegrown in the nation, which is always beneficial. Not the greatest of player. I'm sure we can definitely upgrade his position in the future, but for this season, he seems like he'll do, to be honest. Got some good attributes here. A lot of 15s, a lot of 16s going about, so Willock's definitely a decent player. We've also got Joe Linton at the club, who's a funny one for me because I don't really know where to play him. Ideally, he could be trained as a DM, but as you can see there, he's nowhere near close to being trained as a DM, so that looks out of the question, to be honest, as a Segundo Volante style player. But unfortunately, because he can't play in that position, he can play attack midfield and on the left wing, but wide target forward and support. Clearly, I'm not using a wide target forward. He's very good in the air, very good mentally. He's good physically as well, but in terms of his technical attributes, that side of the game, he is not the best. So yeah, Joe Linton in real life, obviously Newcastle fans sing his praises a lot, but in the Foot Manager here for me, I don't like him too much, to be honest. Also, we've got Elliot Anderson at the club as well. He's a homegrown player at the club as well, which is very nice. But he looks like he needs a loan out or two to get him some development. Again, similar to Longstaff, he could be here a while, since he's a homegrown player at the club. 12k a week for him, so very, very cheap. 20 years of age still, so hopefully get him a loan out this season, give him some development, and he'll come back a better player for us. So that's our 3 attack midfield options, which is Joe Willock, Joe Linton, and Elliot Anderson. Obviously, Anderson is a prized asset because he's homegrown, so I'll look to try and loan him out. And Willock and Joe Linton, although it's not ideal, they'll probably do for a season as our attack midfielders. In terms of the right wing, another very problem position for me, in my opinion. We've got Matt Ritchie at the club, who's just... he's woeful. He's absolutely woeful. How has he been at the club for so long? I have absolutely no idea. He should not be playing Championship football, so he should be in the League One. Nowhere near going to be close to starting a game for the club, I should say. He's a fringe player at the club. He's on 45k a week. His value isn't great at all. His contract does expire at the end of the season, though, so he'll be gone by that point, absolutely latest. But yeah, not much use for Matt Ritchie, to be honest with you. He's a versatile player, but if you're absolutely useless, there's no point being very versatile, is there? And the other 2 right wingers I've got is Jacob Murphy, who again is nowhere near good enough. Not quite as bad as Matt Ritchie, but nowhere near good enough. Nowhere near good enough at all, to be honest. Yeah, don't know what they're thinking having a player like this at the club, to be honest. He's alright, he's alright. He might be a Premier League level winger, to be honest, but I'd say a battling relegation level winger, like a Sheffield United or a Luton. So yeah, Murphy's clearly nowhere near good enough. And Miguel Almiron, he's our best right winger at the club. And I don't think he's very good. I don't think he's very good at all. He's got good pace. He's got very good work rate as well. 20 work rate is always very nice to see. But technically, as a right winger, a player is going to get us loads of goals and loads of assists. Almiron is clearly not good enough to be our number 1 right winger. He's also on 100k a week, and he's got very good value as well. So we can get, 50 million for Almiron. I'll be ecstatic with that, and sign a better right winger than him to hopefully provide us with the goals and assists. So Almiron, Murphy, and Matt Ritchie as our 3 right wingers. It's clearly nowhere near up to standard, so that looks like my third priority for the team at the moment, to be honest. Second or third priority, centre back, left back, and right wing, because Almiron as a number 1 isn't good enough. In terms of the left wing, we've got Harvey Barnes, and we've also got Anthony Gordon as well. I think it sounds better than what it is, to be honest. Harvey Barnes and Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon's doing really well in real life. He looks like a top player, but in this Foot Manager, he's not that good, to be honest with you. He's alright, but being the best left winger at the club, well, second best left winger at the club, because Harvey Barnes is better in this Foot Manager. Not good enough. Not quite as bad as the right wing position, but not good enough as well. 22 years of age, though, might still develop, but I don't think he's getting much better than this, to be honest. And also, he's got very good value about him, 63 to 80 million, and he's on 90k a week. Also, Harvey Barnes at the club as well. He's probably our best left winger at the moment. Another one is homegrown in the nation, such as Gordon as well, but again, not really good enough to be our number 1 left winger. And our final position is a striker position, where we have Callum Wilson and Alexander Isak. Isak is definitely my number 1 striker. He's a very well-rounded, good striker. He can play on the left and right as well if you needed. He can successfully be trained there. I just think he offers more than Callum Wilson, to be honest. Callum Wilson's a great finisher, but Isak is much more complete player. and he's 23 years of age as well. So yeah, the striker position is looking very good. Isak and Wilson, that is very strong. Also the DM position, the starting DM position in Guimaraes and Tonali is very good as well. So this is the assistant's opinion of the best 11 at the club, with the formation I'll be playing with as well. I'll be playing with a sweeper keeper on support, which of course Nick Pope is not the best at that role, to be honest. Do I change it to the defend? I might do going forward in the rebuild. Got Trippier as inverted wing back on support, and the left back as a full back on support. 2 ball playing defenders on defend, and we've got a DM on support, a Segundo Volante on support, attacking midfielder on attack, inside forward on attack on the right wing, inverted wing on attack on the left wing, and an advanced forward up front. And in terms of the mentality as well, I've got a positive mentality. It's very similar to my previous tactics as well. If you watch any of my other rebuilds, it's pretty much the same, to be honest, apart from the roles being changed a little bit. We've got shorter passing, play out defence, higher tempo. We've also got roll it out, distribute quickly as well, high press, trigger press much more often. So it's a very positive style of play, which it should be here with Newcastle. They are known for that. I am worried about the defence though. Obviously, Cher and Botman haven't got the greatest of pace. Target's not the best left back we can have at the club, that is for sure. Nick Pope, he's not really a sweeper keeper on support, but yeah, the problem areas of the team has to be the centre back, mainly for me, to be honest, but also a DM. We need another DM, so I'm looking to bring in a centre back and another DM to add cover in that position. But then after that, I'll be looking to sign a right winger and possibly a left back as well. But seeing as the fact we've only got £5 million to spend, it's going to be tricky. But let's see what players I'll bring in the summer. Well, unfortunately, I was unable to bring in too many players. I only brought in 2 players, and one of them was on loan for the season as well. I also failed to bring in a centre-back, so that's definitely a problem position for us. But let's get to the players that have joined us. Only 2, as I said. The first one to join us was Emile Smith-Rowe. He joined us on loan from Arsenal for the season. Wasn't really my priority position, the attack midfield position. I was looking more for a right winger. I actually tried to sign Rafinha on loan from Barcelona, and he was interested in joining us, but unfortunately, Man City came in for a loan bid for Rafinha as well, and of course, his head was swayed about playing for Man City, and he rejected us. So I was very annoyed about that. I felt like we need to sign another forward option to replace Rafinha, who was expected to get. And Emile Smith-Rowe was that player for me. He can play attack midfield, he can play on the left as well, and he can play on the right. Also, good news about him is he's a homegrown player in the nation, so he adds to the squad selection rules as well. And also, he's very good. He's very good. Not the best player, as you can see, not many greens going on about, but he's got a lot of 15 attributes here, so he's definitely a good addition to the squad. He's definitely a more suitable attack midfielder than Joe Linton, and he's just as good as Joe Willock, if not better. And the next player I signed was Frederick Arsenis, the only money I spent in the season. That is £21 million. He's joined us from Benfica. Again, not the best of players, but for £21 million, I'm very, very happy with the signing of Arsenis here. The great news about him is he's very, very versatile, as you can see. He can play anywhere down the left, anywhere down the right, and pretty much anywhere in the middle as well. But firmly, he is a DM. For us, he's a backup DM, so that position is looking very strong now, in my opinion. We've got Guimaraes and Tonali, and then we've got Arsenis as a squad player, and we've also got Sean Longstaff as well, of course. And to be honest, Arsenis, he could push Tonali out the team, because as you can see here, mentally, he's very, very strong mentally. He's also got 20 natural fitness as well, 17 stamina. He's also got decent passing, so he's actually quite a good player, Arsenis. And for £21 million, I think this is a great signing, to be honest. Of course, I'd like to assign more players, but we've definitely strengthened the team, not by too much, but Arsenis has joined us, and so has Smith-Rowe. So in terms of the players that have left us, as I said, not too many have left us, unfortunately. I was unable to get big money for Almiron or Joe Linton, who I tried to sell as well. But Dubravka did join Al-Shabaab. He went there for £4.6 million. Also, Jacob Murphy has gone to West Ham for £10.5 million. Javi Manquillo has gone on loan to Brentford for the season, also with an optional future fee in there as well, well, mandatory future fee of £2 million, so not too much for him, but he's out of the club at least. The other 3 players are all under 21 players who have left the club as well. So, yeah, not too many players have left us, not too many players have joined us. So, if we actually look at the squad now, not too much has changed in terms of the starting 11. Smith-Rowe is apparently our best attacking midfielder now, over Elliot Anderson, Joe Linton, and Joe Willock, of course. And also, we've got Alston's at the team, who definitely adds cover in the DM position. Also in the fullback position as well, seeing as he can play in both those positions as well. So, yeah, definitely strength for the team, but not by too much. So I'm not expecting too much in the first season, but let's see what we'll do in the first season here with Newcastle. Well, I've brought you back before the end of the first season because in January, well, even before January, obviously I went on holiday and put my assistant manager in charge of the team, used current match tactics, of course. But yeah, when I turned up at 28th of December, off holiday, The transfer budget was almost £100 million, so of course the board have made extra transfer funds available for us. So it's like they knew that the team wasn't good enough that we have at the moment. So they gave me about £100 million to spend. I think about £96 million. So I used that money wisely. I bought in 2 new players, sorry, and both of them are 2 centre backs. Definitely a position that we really are struggling in at the moment in terms of cover. Botman, he's a good centre back, that is for sure. Fabian Schär is decent, but he's also 32 years of age now, so we needed to sign a centre back, possibly 2, and I've brought in 2. Jean-Claire Todibo has joined us from Nice for £68 million. And what I said at the start of the season was, we need a centre back with some pace, and Todibo, thankfully, has some pace. He's got 16 pace, he's also got 14 acceleration, but that is not always good at, because he's a very, very good overall centre-back and overall ball-playing defender. He's got great composure. He's got great vision as well, good passing ability. Technically, he's very good. He's good all around, to be honest. He's 24 years of age. £68 million is definitely expensive, but I feel like he is worth it, in my opinion. He's much more of a complete centre-back than Botman or Fabian Schär. Botman is good, as I said, but he's lacking in pace, which Todibo makes up for. So definitely strengthened the centre-back position. Very happy with the signing of Todibo. And I also signed another French centre-back, and that is Oumar Saleh. He's a centre-back I like to sign a lot in FootballManager, to be honest, because he's very cheap. I only got him for £10.75 million, and although he's a lot worse than Todibo, he's a 4th choice centre-back now, and he's a lot better than Jamal Lascelles. So I've definitely strengthened that regard. Saleh, he's not a great player, not a great player at all, but he's an overall centre-back, a complete centre-back as well. He's just not that great, but as a 4th choice centre-back, I'm happy with the signing of Saleh for only £10.75 million. But of course, the big one is Todibo has joined us from Nice for £68 million. In terms of players that have left us, only one has left us from the first team. That is Emil Kraft. He has joined Marseille for £1.9 million. So he's recovered from injury and he's left the club. Also, Alex Murphy's joined Coventry for 145k. So not too many players left us, but as I said, the board made extra transfer funds available. That maybe helped me bring in Todibo, which is obviously a very, very big help. In terms of the season so far, it's not going very well. As you can see, we're sitting down 11th in the league with only 7 wins out of our first 21 games. We are, however, only 4 points behind Wolves in 6th place, so there's still hope for the season for us to qualify for a continental competition. We're still in the Champions League. We're in the round of 16 against Galatasaray, a tie we should win, to be honest, so the quarter-final should be around the corner. The FA Cup, we're out in the 3rd round, and the Carabao Cup, we've been knocked down in the 3rd round as well. So it's not going so well so far, but it's only the first season. I've also signed a new centre-back in Todibo, who hopefully will bring us glory. Well, the end of Season 1 has been completed, and unfortunately, we finished down in 7th place. But it is better than when we were sitting at the midway point, 11th in the league. It was going really terribly. I made some slight tweaks to the tactics in the January point, and we managed to get up to 7th in the league. Actually ended the season quite strongly, to be honest. We had 7 wins and I think 8 losses, so we've won 7 games since then, only lost 2. Obviously, a lot of draws in there as well. Obviously, 56 points for Newcastle is not good enough. I know it's been a disappointing first season, but we have qualified for a continental competition, the Europa Conference League. Also, I know through this FootballManager that England pretty much always win the coefficient, so it looks like no one outside the top 7 won the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. So if we do get the extra place in the coefficients, I believe we may actually be playing Europa League football next season, which of course is much better than the Europa Conference League, because if we do win the Europa League, we'll automatically qualify for next season's Champions League. The Champions League, though, obviously not playing it next season, that is guaranteed. We'll knock down the quarter-final by Bayern Munich, so that's not too bad, to be honest. Got to the quarter-final, that's quite decent. Further than what they got in real life. They got finished 4th in the group in real life, and Bayern Munich to knock us out is nothing to be ashamed of. So the Champions League went quite well, but the league, 7th in the league, not great, but also not horrendous, and a lot better than it could have been. We're 11th in January, so not too disappointed about that. The cup competitions, though, quite disappointed about them. 3rd round and 3rd round is very disappointing. So not the greatest of first seasons, but also I've barely brought any players as yet. Obviously, I signed Todibo. I also signed Alston as well. But many more players will join the club, that is for sure. In terms of the players, though, as you can see, only 5 green ratings here at the club, so it hasn't been a great season. Best player of the season actually was Anthony Gordon with 15 goals and 8 assists, so he's done quite well. Elliot Anderson as well got 5 goals. Didn't actually find a loan for him in the end, which is unfortunate, but he did quite well nonetheless. Guimaraes and Alston did quite well as well. The DMs did pretty well in the season, so that's a strong point of the team, that is for sure. And Emil Smith-Rowe as well with 9 goals and 4 assists. He was a good loan signing, but His optional future fee is £206 million. I definitely am not matching that, so I'm pretty sure he'll be leaving the club at the end of the season. Top goal scorer, by the way, was Alexander Isak with 18 goals in 40 games, so not terrible, not amazing, almost 1 in 2. Poor average rating though, 6.89, and Anthony Gordon got 15 goals and 8 assists, and Harvey Barnes 11 goals and 8 assists as well. So the front three actually did do quite well, to be honest. Anthony Gordon played right wing most of the time, I believe, and Barnes on the left and Isak up front. So every single player got above 20 goal contributions for the season, so that's quite decent. The DMs are looking quite good as well, but obviously the team is still needs strengthening quite a lot. In terms of the tactical tweak I made at January point, I changed the sweeper keeper on support to defend because Nick Pope, he's not used to the sweeper keeper on support role. And I also changed the attack midfielder on attack to support as well. So looking at the assistant manager's opinion of the best team here, I think it's clear that many positions we still need to strengthen in, such as the goalkeeper, the left back position as well. We need a right winger, that is for sure. Possibly a left winger as well. So the first season is complete, 7th in the league, unfortunately. I think we're playing Europa League football, but I'll confirm that next season, of course. The Champions League got to the quarter-final. No Champions League football next season, but it was an horrendous first start to Newcastle here. Hopefully, season 2 will be better. Well, here we are at the start of season 2, and I've spent almost £300 million on players at the start of season 2. Well, hopefully, we can improve our 7th place finish and start climbing the league. Also, we did qualify for the Europa League. We're playing Europa League football this season as well, thanks to the coefficients, not due to our great performances since we finished 7th in the league. But anyway, the first 5 players to join us were actually 5 young players, 5 young wonder kids. All names you're probably familiar with. Mathys Tel joined us from Bayern Munich for £30 million. He's only just turned 19 years of age. As you can see, he's a very good player. He can play on the left, on the right and up front as well. I still don't think he's quite ready for first team football, so I've actually placed him on the loan list. But this is definitely one for the future. Mathys Tel for the near future as well. Hopefully he develops to a great standard. Hopefully he gets a loan out this season as well to get him some first team minutes. But yeah, happy with the signing of Mathys Tel. He obviously is a very high prospect in real life and in FootballManager as well. The next one to join us is another familiar name. Rooney Bargi has joined us from Copenhagen for £9.5 million. I know he hasn't got the biggest potential on the game. He's still got a very good potential, but only £9.5 million is an absolute steal, to be honest. He's only got 4 caps for Sweden, which is very nice. He's obviously naturally a right winger. He's left-footed as well. He's definitely a good player as well, but he could do with one loan out, I'd say, to get him some first team minutes to develop him ready for next season. But I feel like he's almost ready for first team football now. I feel like Bargi and Tel, it wouldn't be too bad if they're both in the first team this season. Not as first team regulars, but as squad players. But Bargi's joined us, only £9.5 million, a lot cheaper than Tel, so I'm very happy with the signing of Bargi. Next one to join us, another wonder kid, Claudio Echeverri has joined us from River Plate for £5 million only. Definitely the weakest of the 3 I've mentioned so far. Not the greatest, especially mentally, physically as well. He's nowhere near up to scratch, to be honest with you. But only 18 years of age. Definitely he's got a high ceiling. How high will reach there is a different question. He's on loan at West Brom for the season as well, so hopefully he gets some good minutes there. But again, only £5 million, so very cheap signing, and he could prove very useful later on in the rebuild. The next 2 youngsters I signed is Oscar Glauk. He has joined us from Salzburg for £20 million only. Another one with very high potential, 20 years of age, so a bit on the older side, a bit more ready for first team football, I'd say, as well, as a squad player. Still needs to develop a lot, I think it's safe to say, but he can play in 3 different positions, also on the left and right if needed. And finally, of the wonder kids I signed, Valentin Barco. I'm pretty sure he's just signed for Brighton in real life, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure he signed today, actually. He joins us from Boca Juniors for £14 million. He is a left-back, a very technically gifted left-back, with 17 vision. Definitely ready for first team football, in my opinion. Definitely with strength with that position. Bit different to Matt Target because he's more of an attacking style left back. Defensively, he's not amazing, to be honest with you, but he could turn out to be an amazing left back in the future, to be honest. As I said, technically he's very, very gifted. 17 vision, 17 flair, 16 dribbling, but he looks more like an attacking player at the moment. So hopefully we can develop his defensive ability, because that is what I signed him for. But all in all, I'm very happy to sign a Barco. Only £14 million, sorry. So yeah, in terms of these 5 players I've signed here, the 5 wonder kids, Mathys Tel is probably the one that is bugging me the most, although it's not bugging me too much. But £30 million, a little bit expensive for him. But the other 4, very cheap, very high potential as well. Can't go too wrong, in my opinion. But they are only the wonder kids I've signed. Let's get to the big players I've signed now. We've signed a new goalkeeper. A new goalkeeper was definitely needed here at the club. Nick Pope is a good one, but he's not really a sweeper keeper at all. I've signed Mamardashvili from Valencia for £33 million. So not too expensive, to be honest. And he's definitely a much better sweeper keeper than Nick Pope. Although he does have one weakness, and that is his first touch. He's got a free first touch, which is absolutely horrendous. And definitely did make me think twice about signing him, but I couldn't really sign a better goalkeeper than Mamardashvili at the moment. So I'm happy with the signing of him, but I think it's safe to say that I'll try and sign a better goalkeeper in the future. As you can see here, he's agreed to be a backup goalkeeper, so that is pretty much his level. It'd be nice to sign a better one, but for now, for this season, I think he'll do. He's still young, still 23 years of age. But all in all, I think we can do a better goalkeeper, but also he's an upgrade on Nick Pope, although that first touch really does concern me. Also, Lewis Hall's loan stays we made permanent, of course. £28 million for him, which I think is just, yeah, not a great signing, to be honest. It might be a great signing in real life. He might have great potential, but in Foot Manager, he's not got great potential at all. If you look, he hasn't really developed at all, to be honest. He was in the under-21s last season. He's almost 20 years of age. He's on loan at Cagliari this season. I don't think he's going to be much use to us unless he develops astonishingly this season. So £28 million down the drain, in my opinion. The next signing, though, is a very good signing. A player I forgot to mention in January last season. That is Guido Rodriguez. He's joining us from Real Betis for a free transfer. Got him on a free transfer. He's 30 years of age now, so of course he's in his 30s, but he's a very good DM, a very good DM. You look here at some of his attributes: 18 tackling, 18 positioning as well. He's also got 17 teamwork and 16 work rate. A bit similar to Guimaraes in the fact that his physical attributes aren't very good, and the fact that he's 30 years of age now. Yeah, he could be on a decline very, very quickly in terms of his physicals, but on a free transfer for 1 or 2 seasons, very, very happy with the signing of Rodriguez. A full Argentinian international as well with 43 caps. And the next 2 signings were the 2 big ones. I signed Giorgio Scalvini from Atlanta for £75 million. A centre-back I really do love in the game. He doesn't develop too much from this point, to be honest, but already he's a very, very good centre-back for us. A very complete centre-back, and we've definitely upgraded that position now with Todibo and now Scalvini. Also, he can play DM as well. He's very good in that position. But overall, as a centre-back, he's outstanding, to be honest. He's got great composure. He's got great tackling. Great positioning as well. He's good physically. So he's just overall a very, very good centre-back. And he's still developing as well. So he should still get a little bit better than this. £75 million is a lot of money. But I feel like Scalvini is definitely worth that. I know how good he is on this Foot Manager. And the last, and definitely not least, is Yeremy Pino. Finally, we've got a new right winger. Finally, a new right winger. And he has joined us from Villarreal for £69 million. That was his minimum fee release clause. Not got the greatest ceiling in Foot Manager, but he is a very good player. And £69 million for a player of his calibre is not the worst. He can play on the right, he can play on the left, he can play up front and through the middle as well. He's still young, 21 years of age. Technically he's good. 16 dribbling, 16 technique. He's got decent pace as well and decent agility. But of course, he could be a lot better than this. We could sign some better right wingers in the future. But you compare him to Almiron, he's just a much better player. So those are the players that have joined us. Obviously, Scalvini and Pino are the 2 most expensive. But you actually look at the average ageless players I've signed. Only one of them is over the age of 23. And that is Rodriguez, who we've got on a free transfer, who is 30 years of age. So we've signed very good potential players. Some of them are more ready for first team, of course. Some of them need a loan out or 2 to develop. But I'm pretty happy with the players I've signed. Not really signed a world-class player, but hopefully they will come in the future. I did get a lot of money to spend. I'm not entirely sure how much it was in the end, but it was over 100 million, that is for sure. But I couldn't spend this much money on players without selling some as well. So let's get to the players that have left us. The first one's a little bit of a surprise. That is Joe Willock. He has joined Wolves for £27 million. He wasn't really used by the assistant manager last season. Obviously, I signed Smith Rowe on loan for the season, and Willock didn't really get any game time, as you see there. He only made 6 appearances in the league last season, 7 in total. He didn't start a single game, which is quite surprising, to be honest. He's definitely better than that, but understandably, he's not very happy with his playing time, so I decided to sell him for £27 million. He's a decent player. He's a decent squad option down at the club, but the assistant ruined him with the lack of game time, so he has joined Wolves for £27 million. Also, Elliot Anderson's gone on loan for the season. He's gone on loan to Southampton. Unfortunately, couldn't find a loan for him last season, but hopefully he'll start developing this season now in the Championship with Southampton. I think they're in the Championship. Yeah, in the Championship still. That is not all the sales, though, but as you can see, I've signed a lot more players than I've sold in terms of the transfer fee, sorry. So, yeah, I've got quite a lot of money to spend. but some players have left us as well. Javi Manquillo made his loan permanent to Brentford. He went there for £3.3 million. Also, a few players left us on a free transfer. Paul Dummett, the long-serving Paul Dummett, joined Hull on a free transfer. And Jamal Lascelles left the club as well, thankfully. He has joined Sheffield United. Also, Fabian Schär has gone to Al Qadsiya for £11.25 million. He's 32 years of age now. As you can see, his physicals are really going to pop now. 9 acceleration, 12 pace. His strength is going down as well. So, in that regard, he's not really good enough. We've signed Scalvini and Todibo, who are definitely better centre-backs than him. So, not really too sad to see get £11 million for him. Also, Jamal Lewis has gone to Getafe for £2.4 million. Isaac Hayden's gone to Cardiff for £1.5 million. And Loris Karius has gone to Girona for £6 million. Also, Lewis Hall, Garan Cole, and Ryan Fraser have all gone out on loan as well. So, definitely strengthened the team here in the second season. Is it quite the starting 11 I want? Definitely not. But if you compare this team to last season's team, especially in terms of the squad depth, I think it's looking a lot better. Because I actually think Newcastle's first 11 in real life isn't that bad, to be honest. But their squad depth is nowhere near good enough for the team they want to be. So I'm very happy in that regard. If you actually look at our starting 11 now, this is the assistant's opinion of the best team at the club. So we go through position here. We've got Mamardashvili in goal to replace Nick Pope. He's still at the club, Pope, but I am looking to sell him. I tried to sell him this summer, but there was no bidders for him. So definitely strengthen that position in terms of the player role with Mamardashvili, so I'm happy with that. Trippier right back still, but seeing as he's 33 years of age now, the decline has definitely started. This could be his final season for the club. He's also in the final year of his contract, so it could be Trippier's last, to be honest. We've still got Livramento at the club, though, who did quite well last season, so happy with that. The left-back position is definitely looking stronger in terms of the attacking sense with Valentin Barco. I've also changed the role a little bit from full-back support, well, I've changed it a lot, actually, to an inverted wing-back on attack, so I'm a little bit nervous about that. 2 inverted wing-backs. How many goals are we going to concede this season? The defence was not good last season, so I'm worried about that, to be honest. Defence, Botman and Scalvini. Definitely strengthened their defence, that is for sure. I've also got Todibo here as well, so that is looking good. Left backs being strengthened as well. Midfield, we've got Alsness and Guimaraes at the club, but we've also got Tonali and Rodriguez, so that position is by far our strongest in my opinion. Very, very happy with that position. We've got Pino on the right, we've also got Gluck from the middle, we've got Gordon on the left and Isak up front. So the team is starting to take shape now, to be honest with you. I still think the left wing position needs strengthening. Although Gordon was our best player last season, it still needs strengthening, that is for sure. Could do with a new right back, to be honest. Trippier is in his last season pretty much. So the team definitely still needs strengthening, but I'm very happy with the way the team's looking so far this season. We're playing Europa League football this season, which obviously we must be strong favourites for, or one of the strong favourites for, shall I say. Can we better our 7th place finish as well? Can we lift the Europa League? Well, let's find out. Well, here in January in Season 2, 2 more signings to talk of and 3 more players have left us. Let's get to the players that have left us first of all. And 3 English players left the club. Nick Pope has joined Al De Hail for £16.5 million. Of course, he's not really the sweeper keeper I'm looking for. He's back up to Mamardashvili this season as well. So, £16.5 million for a 32-year-old Pope. Very, very happy with that. Miguel Almiron has left the club as well, thankfully. He has gone to Monaco for £23 million. I'm a bit disappointed about the fee, to be honest. We could have got a lot more than that. But £23 million for a player is nowhere near good enough. I will take it. And Dan Burn has joined Sevilla. Another one in his 30s. He has joined them for £10 million as well. Although Dan Burn is a Geordie, he is not homegrown at the club. So he has left the club as well. He's gone to Sevilla for £10 million. So I raised almost £50 million with those 3 players. 3 players are not good enough. 2 of them in their 30s. And 1 of them almost 30 actually. Well, 3 of them in their 30s. £50 million. Got to be happy with that. And 2 new players have joined us. Noah Atabulu has taken Pope's place as our backup goalkeeper. Another one I'd like to sign. Signed him for £22 million. He's almost on... Well, him and Mamardashvili are on a similar level in my opinion. So it's down to the assistant who is the number 1. But he again has agreed to be a backup player. They both are a backup style goalkeeper in my opinion. I still need to sign a better goalkeeper than these 2. But definitely strengthen that position again. Happy with this. He's definitely a sweeper keeper and support style player. As you can see there, he's a very complete goalkeeper. And he's still developing. So very happy to sign him Atabulu. And Harvey Elliott has joined us on loan for the season as another homegrown player. And also he'll be joining us end of the season for £34.5 million. Since he was transfer listed by Liverpool. So very happy with the signing of Elliott. He's a very good player. Very technically gifted, that is for sure. He's also very versatile as well. So for only £34.5 million, I'm very happy with the signing of Elliott and also Atabulu, of course. In terms of the season so far, well, the league is looking better than this point last season. Last season we were 11th in the league. This time round we're sitting 5th in the league. So we're still chasing Champions League football. I think the league title is definitely gone, that is for sure. 18 points behind Liverpool. But in terms of the top 4 race, only 2 points behind Chelsea with 15 games to go. So who knows? We could be playing Champions League football next season. And the Europa League is still in the league phase. We're sitting 7th in the league phase at the moment. So it looks highly likely we'll go through to the next round. Still in the FA Cup as well. But unfortunately, we're out of the Carabao Cup though. What will happen in Season 2 though? Will we qualify for the Champions League? Will we win the Europa League? Well, let's find out. Well, unfortunately, it was actually quite a disappointing end to Season 2, to be honest. We finished 6th in the league in the end. We were 5th at the halfway point, but we fell off a little bit towards the end. We finished 4 points behind Chelsea in 4th place in the end. Again, it's saying we're qualifying for the Europa Conference League because Norwich must have won the FA Cup. But again, due to the coefficients, I think we'll be playing Europa League football next season again. Talking of the Europa League, though, we got to the final. But unfortunately, we lost the final. Who did we lose in the final to? I'm actually not entirely sure. Porto, that was it. I knew it was someone we should be beating. We lost 2-0 in the Europa League final to Porto. So that is a very, very big disappointment. You know, we must be strong favourites for that game. We've got a better team than Porto. We should be winning the Europa League, to be honest. So I'm really disappointed about that. We did get to our first final here in the rebuild, but that is a competition we should have won. And also, if we would have won the Europa League, we were playing Champions League football next season again. So the first 2 seasons haven't got quite to plan here. We finished 1 place ahead of last season in 6th place, but we should have won the Europa League. We should be talking about our first piece of major silverware since 1969. Did better in the Cups this season as well. We got knocked down in the quarter-final of the FA Cup by Sheffield United and the quarter-final of the Carabao Cup by Crystal Palace. So we did get further in the 3rd round in both competitions, but look at the teams we knocked out by. Sheffield United in the FA Cup and Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup. I like to think we've missed a trick this season. We've really missed a trick this season. Runner-up in the Europa League and knocked out by Sheffield United and Crystal Palace. We should have won a competition, in my opinion. We had a big chances in all 3 of those competitions. The league didn't go too well. Liverpool dominated, by the way, with 101 points. But the other competitions, we should be talking about 1 trophy, especially the Europa League, perhaps the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup as well. Well, in terms of the best player of the season, well, Yeremy Pino had a great season, a great signing for us. He got 9 goals only in 48 games. We got 20 assists. So in terms of creating chances, he did really well this season and by far our best player of the club in terms of this season. Isak as well got a lot more goals. He got 33 goals this season in 49 games and 4 assists. Also, Anthony Gordon with 15 goals and 8 assists as well. Matisse Tell did quite well with 11 goals. Tadibo had a good season. Also, Scalvini had a good season as well. So did Guimaraes. Harvey Barnes with 15 goals. And Gluck got 10 goals and 10 assists. So, looking alright. The team's looking more better than last season, that is for sure. Also, although we only finished 1 place above last season, we also got 10 more points than last season. So we're definitely taking a step in the right direction, but I'm really annoyed about not winning the Europa League and also not going further in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. But as I said, the team has taken a step in the right direction. What will Season 3 bring? Well, let's find out. Well, unfortunately, the first 2 seasons didn't go too well, to be honest, especially last season. That bugged me even more since we lost the Europa League final to Porto. But the good news is we have the chance to actually win the competition this season since we're in the Europa League again. Not due to our good performances, but due to the coefficients. Again, we got lucky and we qualified for the Europa League. So again, no Champions League football, but I'm hoping we might go 1 step further this season and actually win the Europa League and get back into the Champions League. This season could actually be the start of the rebuild actually starts kicking in and we start winning trophies. Hopefully it is. I've spent enough money to hopefully get us there. I've spent almost £350 million in this season, so more than last season, and I brought in some big names to the club as well. So let's get to the players that have joined us first of all. And the first player to join us is actually a new right back, and that is Ivan Fresneda. He has joined us from Sporting Lisbon for £45 million. He effectively has replaced Kieran Trippier, who has left the club now. He's now he's now just about to turn 34 years of age, really on the decline, so can't have him as a number 1 right back. Still got Livramento at the club, and now we've got Fresneda as well. 20 years of age, 4 caps for Spain already, still developing, and overall he's quite a good right back, especially defensively. He's more of a defensive-minded right back, I'd say, but that doesn't mean he can't attack, because he definitely can attack as well. Definitely good going forward. A lot of 14s, a lot of 15s going on here as well, so he's definitely a good right back. I know his ceiling is not that high in FootballManager. He actually won't get that much better than this, so again, I could do a better right back than Fresneda in the future, but for now, for 46 million, I'm very happy with the signing of him. The next player I signed, though, is a very exciting one. That is Florian Wirtz. He has joined us from Bayer Leverkusen for £91 million. I actually signed him in my Man United rebuild, which I did a couple of weeks ago. Didn't quite work out for him there, but I'm more excited about him this time because he actually looks like a better player in this rebuild than the Man United rebuild, and he's firmly a starting player for us, that is for sure. 22 years of age still, just turned 22. As you can see, he's a very good attacking midfielder. Definitely upgrade that position, and definitely one of our best players already. 18 flair, 17 vision, 17 technique, 17 agility. He's a very, very good player, and hopefully he'll get even better as well. So I'm even more excited about Wirtz this time round than the Man United rebuild. Hopefully he can be a great player for us this time round. £91 million is expensive for Wirtz though, but if he turns out to be the player that he should do, then that'll be an absolute steal. The next one I signed is Pavlovic, who's another new centre-back. Another new centre-back I've signed, which is great. That position is actually looking really good now. He has joined us from Salzburg for £35 million. Very happy with the signing of him. His pace isn't the great. He's got 12 acceleration, but he has got 15 pace, so he makes up for it in that regard. So he's not the slowest, but he's also not the quickest. He's got great strength though, 17 strength, 17 jumping reach. He's not quite a complete ball-playing defender that I like, but he's got great composure, 16 composure. Passing is only 11, which is a little bit on the low side. He's also got 12 first touch and 12 technique. But overall, he's a good centre-back. He's a third, fourth choice centre-back of the club. So in that regard, he's a very, very good player. And you compare him to the likes of Lascelles and Paul Dummett, I think we've strengthened that part of the team very, very well. Those are the first 3 signings. Let's get to the more of the signings now. A lot more money been spent. Only 3 more signings though, but 3 big players have joined us. Victor Gyökeres has joined us from Sporting Lisbon for £58 million. Don't ask me to pronounce his name properly because I cannot. I'll call him Gyökeres. I'm pretty sure that's not how you pronounce it, but that is how I'm pronouncing it. He's joined us as a new striker option. Callum Wilson, he's still at the club at the moment, but he's rapidly on the decline now. He's about 33 years of age, and Gyökeres is clearly a better player than him in this Foot Manager. To be honest, technically he's not the best, but he's got 17 finishing, which is great, 16 dribbling as well. I say he's not the best technically, but he's not that bad, is he? Let's be honest. 11 passing though, is a little bit on the low side. He's got great work rate. Physically, he's pretty good. 18 stamina, decent pace about him as well. I actually signed him as a left winger, to be honest, but he's naturally a striker, so the assistant's probably going to use in that position. But the great news is we've got 2 great Swede strikers at the club now with Gyökeres and Isak. It's saying he's a 4.5-star player, but I think that's a little bit on the high side. I'd say he's more of a 3.5-star player, but anyway, I'm happy with the signing of Gyökeres. Definitely strengthens the forward option for us. Harvey Elliott's joined the club as well for £34.5 million, of course. Unfortunately, though, he only played in 3 games last season, all of them off the bench as well. So, similar to Joe Willock, the assistant is not using him at all, which is a little bit worrying. But £34.5 million, a little bit on the low side. So, even if it doesn't work out for him, he hasn't been that much on him, to be honest. And we'll obviously get a lot of that back if we do sell him in the future. So, hopefully the assistant uses him more often this season. And last, and definitely not least, I have signed a new goalkeeper. The goalkeeper I wanted to sign, and in my opinion, he is the best sweeper keeper you can actually sign in the game, or realistically sign in the game. And that is Diogo Costa. He has joined us from Porto for £64 million. That was his minimum fee release clause. So I'm very happy with the signing of him. He is the perfect sweeper keeper on support, in my opinion. He's got great one-on-ones. He's got great reflexes, great composure as well. He's very agile. He's just a great player, 25 years of age. And now finally I've got the goalkeeper I wanted. Maradashvili was a good one. So was Atabulu as well, but I think it's safe to say Diogo Costa is that first choice goalkeeper we needed at the club. So yeah, very happy with the signings. New goalkeeper Costa. We've also got Gyökeres, who's a new striker to replace Wilson, and we've also got Pavlovic, who adds strength in the centre back position. Fresneda, new right back, and Florian Wirtz, of course, a new attacking midfielder. So the team is starting to take shape now, which is great. Let's get to the players that left us now. First player to leave was actually Matisse Tell. He's gone on loan to Fulham for the season. I think they're playing in the Premier League? Yeah, they're playing in the Premier League, Fulham. So he's getting Premier League experience, Matisse Tell. He's an important player for them. So he's still in my plans, that is for sure. Hopefully he develops this season. Didn't develop too much last season, but hopefully he will this season. The next 2 players to leave us, a little bit surprising. Both were starters last season, but Anthony Gordon has joined Man United for £51 million. As I said, in real life, he's really good. And to be honest, the first 2 seasons for us, he's done quite well as well. He got 15 goals last season, all comps, and 15 goals the season before. So why have I sold him? That is because I don't think he's that good, to be honest. £51 million is a lot of money as well. He hasn't got a cap for England yet, 24 years of age. He hasn't really developed, and being the fact that he's 24, he's not going to develop too much more after this. And also he's asking for a new contract, a contract I did not think that he was worthy of, to be honest. So yeah, a little bit surprising. As I said, in real life, he's very good. Got very high potential, looks like a great player, but in this FM, not really up to standard. And the next player to leave us is actually our captain. Kieran Trippier has joined Aston Villa for just £3.2 million. But as I said, he's 34 years of age now, and his physicals are looking absolutely disgusting, so he is not much use for the club anymore. That is not all the sales, though. Another £69 million worth of player sales. A couple of youngsters left us on a free transfer. Also, Umar Salet has joined Lazio for £13 million. He wasn't happy with his game time, and also replaced him with Pavlovic from his former club, Salzburg, who's a much better centre-back. Only £13 million, but haven't made a loss on him. Only signing for £10.75 million, so not too disappointed about this. I was only expecting him to be here for a couple of seasons. He was only here for about a season, actually, so he has left the club. Matt Targett as well. We tried to sell him now for a couple of seasons, but he seems to always reject contracts. But thankfully, he's gone and joined his former club, his boyhood club, Southampton, for £19.75 million. Also, Mark Gillespie's left the club. He's gone to Hearts for £1 million. Surprisingly, Oscar Gluck has gone on loan for the season. He's gone on loan to Bayer Leverkusen, the actual team we signed Florian Wirtz from, to replace him. He's on loan there for the season. He's still in my plans, only 21 years of age, but if you compare him to Wirtz, it's just a clear winner, to be honest. Wirtz is a lot better than him, so he's not going to get the game time he needs, and it developed nicely. He's at a good club in Leverkusen, playing good standard of football, so hopefully he'll come back a better player, and also he's got massive value as well, so only signing for £20 million. If we do sell him in the future, surely we'll make a profit on him. Garang Cole has gone on loan to Hamburg for the season as well, and also a few other players gone out on loan, a few youngsters. Lewis Miley's gone on loan to Derby for the season, so hopefully he starts developing now. Lewis Hall's gone on loan to Burnley as well, and Joe Linton has gone on loan to Porto for the season. Another one I've tried to sell for a couple of seasons, but no one seems to want to make a bid for him. He's on loan to Porto though, and they've got an optional future fee of £35 million, so hopefully this will be the team that will take him from us. And finally, Mamardashvili has joined RB Leipzig for £31 million. Only was another one goalkeeper for a season. Made a £2 million loss on him as well. But Diogo Costa has joined the club, who's a much better goalkeeper. We actually compared the two here. Obviously, Costa looks like a much better player, in my opinion. He's better communicating, Mamardashvili, and his aerial ability. But in the important attributes for a sweeper keeper and support, Diogo Costa is a much better player. So Mamardashvili definitely did do a job for us, but he's not the number one goalkeeper I need. And also got Atabulu at the club still, who is the understudy to Diogo Costa. So that is the new signings. Very happy with the way the squad is starting to take shape now. We actually look at the assistant's opinion of the best 11. As you can see, first of all, I made a slight tweak to the formation, which could be very good or very bad. We shall see. Guimaraes hasn't been great in the first two seasons for us, so I'm playing him in his favoured role, a deep line playmaker on defend. Let's see how it will work out. I'm also playing a little bit asymmetrical here as well, with Rodriguez as a DM on support and him in the centre midfield effectively. But in terms of the actual positioning, the actual players at the club, Costa is definitely an upgrade in the goalkeeper position. Fresneda, definitely an upgrade in my opinion as well. Trippier at the start of FM is definitely better, but as you saw for yourself, the decline is definitely real with Trippier. So Fresneda has replaced him in that regard. The centre-back partnership still looking good. Scalvini, Botman, also got Todibo as well, of course, and now Pavlovic as well. So the centre-back is looking very, very good. The goalkeeper is looking very, very good as well. Left-back, Alsner's actually been trained as a new left-back. As I said before at the start, when we signed him, he's very versatile. The assistant manager's been playing him as a left-back, so he's looking like our best left-back at the moment, to be honest. Also, still got Barco here at the club as well, so happy with that position. In midfield, we've got Rodriguez and Guimaraes. We've still got Tonali, and we've still got, who else have we got? We've got Longstaff as well, so that position is looking very good. Of course, Alston can still play there as well. And in terms of the forward options, we've got Florian Wirtz here at the club now. I've changed his role to attack. We've got Pino, Gyökeres on the left, and Isak up front. So the team is starting to take shape, that is for sure. Obviously, I'd still like to strengthen it even more. I think that'll happen pretty much every season, to be honest. Definitely get a lot of money to spend here in Newcastle, which is great. But this season, I'd like to see us make some progress in the Premier League. But most importantly, we need to make up for last season by losing the final of the Europa League. Got another chance. We shouldn't have another chance, but we have got another chance. Can we win the Europa League this season and get the first piece of silverware here in the rebuild? Well, no one has signed for us in January, but I've brought you back because we've signed two very good players on a free transfer. The first one is a 30-year-old Milinkovic-Savic. He's joining us from Al Hilal end of the season on a free transfer. His wages for a Saudi Arabian club is not as much as you think it would be. 250k a week is of course still a lot, but compared to some players like Neymar, Benzema, Ronaldo, you can actually afford Milinkovic-Savic in terms of his wages, especially for a team like Newcastle. So he'll be joining us on a free transfer, 30 years of age. about to turn 31, but obviously a free transfer. Can't really go wrong with this. So I'm happy with the signing of him. But the next one is a very exciting one. A very, very high project wonder kid, Yamal, will be joining us from Barcelona on a free transfer. Another one I signed for Man United rebuild, but it was a whole lot different. I signed him for £195 million, I think it was. And he was more of a developed player. But this time round, we got him in his young phase, only 18 years of age, but on a free transfer. Can't go wrong with this. Hopefully he develops to be the player he does turn out to be, but even if he doesn't, on a free transfer, you can't really go wrong. Obviously, the ceiling is extremely high for Yamal in real life and in FM, so I'm very happy with the two signings I've made here, both on a free transfer during the end of the season. Also, in terms of the league, well, unfortunately, the tactic I set up with wasn't great at all. It went absolutely terribly at the start of the season. I made slight tweaks, though. As you can see, it's gone more symmetrical now, which I do like to see. I've changed the inverted wing back to attack. I've also got with a secondo volante attack instead of a deep line playmaker on defend, which wasn't working out at all. And I've changed the attack midfielder attack to support as well. And although we're sitting 7th in the league, it was a lot worse than this. So as you can see, the start of the season was absolutely terribly, down to 11th place in the league. So I've changed that in that regard. Hopefully we'll have a strong ending to the season. But again, it's not looking too great for us. 7th in the league with 7 points behind the top 4. We have got 2 games in hand over them though. So top 4 is definitely a possibility. But to be honest, this season is all about the Europa League. We're still in the league phase. Hopefully we can win it. We shall see about that. We're still in the FA Cup as well. And also we're in the Carabao Cup semi-final at the moment, playing against Aston Villa. So we've got a big chance to win 2 trophies this season, the Europa League and the Carabao Cup. Will we do it? Let's find out. Well, unfortunately, we finished 7th in the league again, which is disappointing. We actually got less points than last season. The defence was absolutely terrible. With 64 points, only 2 points out of the top 4. But 7th in the league again. 7th, 6th, now 7th is, very disappointing. But thankfully, we won the Europa League this season. We beat Villarreal in the final 3-0 after extra time, so that is great. And also, we won the FA Cup as well. So we actually won 2 trophies this season. We got to another final as well. We got to the Carabao Cup final. Unfortunately, we lost that though. But we did win 2 competitions. The Europa League, so we're back in the Champions League for next season, which is thankfully very, very nice. And we also won the FA Cup. So, yeah, the 3rd season is definitely been a massive success. Obviously, the league is still not looking great. 7th in the league again. But we're back in the Champions League. We had to attract more better players at the club. And we also won the FA Cup as well. And got to a Carabao Cup final. So we could have actually won a treble this season, which is obviously a very, very nice thing to do. But most importantly, we've won the Europa League. And we have won the FA Cup, so that is absolutely fantastic. The league position, though, still needs to improve drastically, but thankfully we're back in the Champions League, and we've got 2 trophies under our belt. Well, in terms of the squad, best player of the season actually goes to Florian Wirtz, another new signing. 16 goals and 14 assists for him. Definitely an upgrade on Gluck. Gluck did well last season, 10 goals and 10 assists, but 6 more goals for Wirtz and 4 more assists, so great signing, Wirtz. He's looking a lot better than the Man United rebuild, that is for sure. Also, Pino had another great season. Only 6 goals this season, which is on the low side, but 23 assists again. So he's getting lots of assists, Pino, at the club, which is great. Also, one player I forgot to mention is Yankuba Minta. He is here in the first team now. He's on loan at the first 2 seasons, but he developed very nicely. And now he's playing here for us in the first team. I would be open to selling him, though, because you've got a very high value about him, 98 to 130 million pounds. And I definitely don't agree that he's a 4-star player. If you look at him here, he's not amazing at all. He's very quick, which is great. He's not homegrown at the club, so I can't keep him in that regard. It doesn't really benefit him. If he's homegrown at the club, I'll definitely be keeping him. But 150k a week he's on now. He's worth 98 to 130 million pounds. I'll be interested in selling him, that is for sure. But overall, we had a good season at the club, so I can't complain about him too much. Fresneda had a good first season as well, 1 goal and 7 assists. Diogo Costa started 57 games for us, and it definitely was an upgrade. Barker had a decent season, as did Harvey Barnes as well. Top goal scorer is actually Jacques with 22 goals and 5 assists. He's our number 1 striker at the club now. Isak has fallen down the pecking order, but he's still got 19 goals, Isak, and 4 assists as well. So the striker position is looking very good. I prefer it if Jacques was playing on the left and Isak up front and get Minte or Barnes out of the team. But as I said before, the assistant picks the team. But anyway, the league didn't go quite to plan again. 7th in the league is very disappointing. But the good news is we won 2 competitions, the Europa League and the FA Cup. And now we're back in the Champions League for the start of Season 4. Well, at the start of Season 4, I spent slightly less money than last season, but I still spent just shy of £300 million worth of players. And one player is very, very exciting, and he's definitely a world-class player. The first player to join us though was Jacob Ramsey. He joins us from Aston Villa for £84 million. Definitely very expensive, but he's definitely a very, very good player. And the fact that he's homegrown in the nation was what drew me to Jacob Ramsey. I signed him for Man United in my Man United rebuild. He did very well for us there, and hopefully he'll do very well for us here as well. He can play through the middle, he can play on the left as well. £84 million is expensive, but if you're looking for a homegrown player in England, Jacob Ramsey is probably one of the better ones you can buy, especially in the forward positions. Realistically, buy as well. Buy anyway, sorry. So Ramsey has joined us, still young as well, 25 years of age. He's got 11 caps and 7 goals for England, which is very nice. As I said, he's very expensive, but he's a very good player. Lots of 15s going on about here, a couple of 16s, a 17 as well. He can play in 2 different positions. So yeah, very happy with the signing of Ramsey. The next one though is very, very exciting. Bernardo Silva has joined the club from Man City for £116 million. Well, I will say that normally I won't spend £116 million on a player who's pretty much 32 years of age, but Bernardo Silva is absolutely insane, and also I feel like he could be the player that actually gets us up the Premier League and potentially could win us a league title as well. So although it's £116 million for a 32-year-old, definitely a little bit foolish. I feel like he's an outstanding player, very versatile player as well. And if he wins us the league title this season, I think it's £116 million well spent. Also, in terms of his physical attributes here, he hasn't started the decline yet, which is great. So hopefully we'll get 1, maybe 2 great seasons out of him before the decline happens. So it could be definitely worth the money, although it's a little bit foolish spending that much money on a player who's 32 years of age. And the next one to join us is another very exciting player, and that is Piero Hincapié. He joins us from Bayer Leverkusen for £74 million. That is his minimum fee release clause. The great news about Hincapié is he can play left back and he can also play centre back as well. He's good enough to play any position, to be honest. He's only 6 foot, so he's not quite the tallest centre back we need, but he's got good jumping reach, 14. He's got decent aerial ability as well. But for me, I'm looking at him more as a left back for this season. It's going a little bit away from the inverted wing back on attack we have had with Barco and Alsness, but that was definitely a weak position in our team, I believe. So Hincapié has joined us, and I'm very happy with the signing of him. Of course, Milinkovic-Savic and Lamine Yamal joined us on a free transfer as well. They're both here at the club. And Jarell Hato has joined us from Ajax on loan for the season. He's actually going to join us mandatory for £92 million at the end of the season as well, which is a lot of money, but he's only 20 years of age. And also, he's a very similar player to Hincapié, which I like to sign. He can play fullback on support and left back, and he can also play centre back as well. And he's still developing, so I'm very happy with signing a Hato as well. So those are the players that have joined us. Obviously, I've strengthened the left back position with Hincapié and Hato, also the centre back position as well. Lamine Yamal on a free transfer. He'll be in the first team because he will qualify as a homegrown player at the club after 3 seasons. So I don't want to loan him out. We're definitely lacking the homegrown players at the club scenario. So I'd like to get him homegrown at the club, along with Rudy Bargi as well, who will become homegrown at the club as well. So he will stay in the first team Yamal, although I don't think he's going to get much first team football. But Hato, Hincapié, Milinkovic-Savic, Bernardo Silva, of course, and Jacob Ramsey would definitely strengthen the team again this season. In terms of the players that have left us, actually raised £158 million worth of player sales, and some big players have left us. Guido Rodriguez has joined Al Ahly for £48.5 million. Very happy with the sale of him. He's 32 years of age now. His physical attributes are already not very good, so the decline is going to happen very quickly. He also wasn't too happy about his playing time. So, you know what? We signed Milinkovic-Savic on a free transfer from Saudi Arabia, and we sold Rodriguez the other way for £48.5 million. So, although he's a very good defensive midfielder, you know, he's got great tackling and position ability, but he's 32 years of age now, and £48.5 million for him is great. Also, another big sale, Sven Botman has joined Barcelona for £69 million. I think it's safe to say that he's fallen down the pecking order a little bit here at the club. I've signed many great centre-backs, and also I'm just not happy with his physical attributes. His pace is nowhere near good enough, so I've sold him for £69 million. He's been a good servant to the club. He's done quite well, but I say he's done quite well. The last 3 seasons, his average rating has been very poor, especially last season where 6.72. So in that regard, I got him out of the team, and I replaced him with better centre-backs in my opinion. So I'm very happy with the sale of those 2 players. Almost, £120 million for Rodriguez and Botman. Also, unfortunately, Joe Linton wasn't sold to Porto. They didn't want to match his optional future fee of £35 million. They did, however, want to sign him on loan again for the season. So he's gone to Porto again, Joe Linton. The optional future fee this season around is £27.5 million. So I guess Porto have done some smart business there. Hopefully, Joe Linton will leave in the future. Also, Echeverry has joined Aston Villa for £11.25 million. Unfortunately, he hasn't really developed at all, being here at the club, not well enough anyway. And mentally, he's very, very weak, and physically, he's just awful. But we only signed him for £5 million, so we doubled our money on him, so I'm happy with that. Garang Kuhl has joined Brighton for £20 million. He was on loan in our first couple of seasons. Not really developed to the player that could be a regular starter here for the club, so to get that sort of money from Brighton is very, very nice. He's definitely got some potential about him, but not good enough for Newcastle United, in my opinion. Lewis Miley's on loan again, this time to Lille in France. Oscar Gluck is on loan to Inter Milan for the season. Lewis Hall's on loan to Werder Bremen. And Barco's on loan to Real Sociedad. And Matisse Tell has gone back to Bayern Munich on loan for the season as well. So a lot of the youngsters have left us on a loan. Also got lots of players at the club now, to be honest. You look at the under-21s here. We've got some big players here out on loan, such as Gluck, Matisse Tell, Barco as well, and Miley, Lewis Hall, Joe Linton out on loan as well. So got a lot of players here at the club. And we actually look at our best starting 11 now. Hincapié has come into the team at left back. Also, Livramento done really well last season, developed very nicely as well. He's looking actually like quite a good right back, Livramento. He's actually my number one right back over Fresneda these days. So I'm happy with Livramento, very happy with him. Hincapié left back, as I said. Also, Wirtz did really well last season. Mintea failed to sell him, unfortunately. But also got Bernardo Silva there on the right hand side. So the team is starting to take shape. Also, as you can see, I've made slight tweak to the tactics again. I'm hoping this one may work. We shall see. I've changed the inverted wing back on the left back to a full back on support. And I've changed the right back to a wing back on attack. And I've switched the DM on support to a ball midfielder on defend. And also, yeah, and that is it, sorry. So, yeah, the ball midfielder, the DM style players on the right hand side now instead of the left to cover Livramento, who's going forward. And Hincapié or Hato, whoever starts left back, will be more of a natural fullback. So hopefully this tactic could get us glory this season. Last season was very good in terms of the three competitions, apart from the league. The league 7th in the league was disappointing, but we won the Europa League, we won the FA Cup, and we got to the Carabao Cup final. But that is not the end here for us. Hopefully we can win some more. Hopefully we can win some more competitions this season. We're competing in the league. We're competing in the Champions League as well. Can we do something memorable here in Season 4? Let's find out. Well, unfortunately, we was in a title race the entire season, but we fell at the final hurdle, which is very disappointing. We finished 1 point behind Chelsea, and as you can see, we lost our penultimate game of the season away to Aston Villa 1-0. Well, away to Bournemouth 1-0, I think it was. That prevented us winning the league title. In terms of going forward this season, and defensively, we were outstanding. Plus 64 goal difference, but only 79 points, and that is because we drew too many games this season. 1 point, look at the title race, by the way, though. Only 1 point separating Chelsea in first and Man City in 4th place, so it's a very enthralling title race. But to get plus 64 goal difference and not win the league title is quite disappointing. However, we did win the Champions League, so back-to-back European titles for us. Also 3 European finals in a row. We won the Champions League. We beat Bayern Munich in the final on penalties after drawing the game 1-1. We also won the UEFA Super Cup as well. We won that at the start of the season. The FA Cup, though, knocked down the 3rd round by Man City. The Carabao Cup knocked down the 4th round by Arsenal. We did, though, win the Community Shield as well. So this season, we actually won 3 trophies. One of them the Champions League, and 2 of them are minor trophies in the Super Cup and the Community Shield. But anyway, another great season. Another season we definitely made big strides. Yes, we failed to win the league title, but we actually finished in the top 2 this season. A lot better than the previous 3 seasons. So second in the league is definitely a step in the right direction. Couldn't win the league title, but we definitely made up for that by winning the Champions League this season. We also won the Super Cup and the Community Shield. So technically, we have won a treble, although it's not the best treble you can win, that is for sure. But the Champions League here at the club in the 4th season only is very, very nice. The Europa League last season, the Champions League this season, absolutely fantastic. That's now 5 trophies now in 2 seasons, so that is absolutely great. Well, in terms of the squad, Florian Wirtz had another great season with 13 goals and 20 assists. But in terms of the best player of the season, that would probably fall to Livramento with 2 goals and 10 assists with a 7.23 average rating. He flourished in the wing-back attack role for this season, so that is great. Isak as well with 24 goals in just 23 starts. Joel Hato had a great season as well. Bernardo Silva, 6 goals and 14 assists. He didn't quite get us the league title, but he did help towards winning the Champions League, so a great signing. Hincapié did really well as well. Diogo Costa, again, 59 games played for him. A lot of games played. Pavlovic did well. Minte did well as well, as did Tonali and Jacob Ramsey as well. So the team is really starting to take shape now. Second in the league this season, came close to winning the league title, but we did win the Champions League, And we've also won 5 trophies in total now. 5 different trophies as well, should I add. The only ones we're missing now really are the Premier League and the Carabao Cup. So let's go into Season 5. Can we lift the Premier League in Season 5? Well, let's find out. Before we go any further though, guys, please remember that if you do like the video, hit that like button for me. It's very important for the video's success. And if you're still watching at this point, then surely you must like the video. So do me a favour and hit that like button for me. And also, if you're new around here, do hit that subscribe button as well. It'd really help me out. And he much appreciated. Before we get started with Season 5, guys, I think it's worth mentioning the reputation of the club. Before we won the Champions League, it was 4 stars. But after we won the Champions League, we're now a 5-star reputation team. So I feel like the end of the rebuild is very, very close. But of course, we need to win at least 1 league title before I can say that Newcastle has been successfully rebuilt. Well, if you thought I made some impressive signings before this season, you wait till you see the signings I brought in for this season. I spent almost £750 million here in Season 5. So if this does not win you the league title, I don't know what will. And the first player to join us is a new right back. That is Jeremy Frimpong from Bayer Leverkusen for £65 million. The great news about Frimpong is he definitely suits the role I'm playing there now, wing back and attack. But also, he's a homegrown player in the nation, since he started his career at Man City. So a great benefit to have Frimpong out of the club. He's a good player, and also he's homegrown in the nation. Him and Livramento will be battling out that position. Very even, I'd say, to be honest. Livramento slightly better defensively. Frimpong slightly better physically. But yeah, very happy with that position. Again, are they 2 of the best right backs in the world? No. But they definitely add a purpose, and Livramento was arguably our best player last season. So I'm liking the look of this signing. Frimpong got great pace, 18 acceleration, 18 pace. As I said, he's very good going forward and physically. So happy with the signing of him. The next one I signed is another fullback, another homegrown fullback. That is Tyrick Mitchell. He joined us from Crystal Palace for £41 million. Firmly as a squad player, back up to Hinkapai or Hato, whoever starts left back for the assistant. But £41 million, not too expensive. He also adds to the homegrown status of the club. So yeah, happy with the signing of Tyrick Mitchell. Again, he suits the role I'm playing now. His best role is fullback on support. And Ansu Fati has joined the club as well from Barcelona, who's transfer listed by Barcelona. He's joined us for £68 million. Very happy with the signing of Fati. 24 years of age. He's a very good player, very versatile. Inside forward attack is one of his best roles as well. So I'm very happy with that. 16 finishing, 17 dribbling. He's got great pace as well, 17 off the ball. He's just a great player. For £68 million, I feel like that's an absolute steal, to be honest with you. That is not even half the signings though. And as I said, £750 million spent almost. There's a lot of big players to join us. The next one to join us is only a young player, Dario Schlaudraff from Schalke for £11 million. He could prove useful in the future. He's in the under-21s at the moment because I'm looking to get him homegrown at the club as well, like other players. Really lacking in that regard. I'd like to build up that the homegrown status of the club. He's a ball midfielder style player, can play centre-back as well and centre midfielder, but the potential is very high, but I think it's safe to say he's not ready for first-team football yet, but he could be in the future. The next player I signed, though, was the record transfer at the club, and I'm pretty sure it's the record transfer in the world as well. He is a DM, and his name is Manuel Ugarte. You may have heard of him. He plays for PSG. I spent £220 million on him, which, saying it, sounds absolutely disgusting. It sounds absolutely foolish. But, in my defence, he is the best ball midfielder you can possibly sign. In my opinion, he is by far the best player in that. Just look at his attributes for a ball-winning midfielder. 18 tackling, 19 aggression, 18 anticipation, 18 bravery, 18 concentration, 18 teamwork, 18 work rate, 18 stamina. I can go on. He is an unbelievable player. He's also on 425k a week, but as I said, I did deliberate about signing him for so much money before I did it. But eventually I came to the conclusion that why? Why not? I've got the money to sign him. He is by far the best ball midfielder style player I could sign. There's no one better in that role than Ugarte in the game. That is an absolute fact. So it was either a choice of signing someone like Tchouaméni, who I have signed anyway, by the way. Spoiler alert. I'll get to him in a second. But as a ball midfielder, yeah, I could sign Tchouaméni for £140 million or Ugarte for £80 million more, which does not sound too much more in the grand scheme of things. And if he stays here at the club for 10 seasons and does amazing, it's definitely worth it, isn't it? Unbelievable player. As a ball midfielder, as a complete midfielder, definitely not. But in his role, he is absolutely suited to that role, and he's an unbelievable footballer. So very happy with the signing, although I have spent quite a lot of money on him. Joel Hato, of course, has joined the club for £92 million. He's a very good player. He's also our vice captain at the club already, so very happy with the signing of him. He did really well last season. The next one to join us is another youngster, Leandro Barlocco from Nacional for £3.9 million. He's a centre-back / right-back, 18 years of age, just turned 18. Again, looking for more homegrown players at the club, so he is in the under-21s. He's got great pace about him, but he still needs to develop, that is for sure. The next one to join us is a new striker. Vitor Roque has joined us from Barcelona for £91 million. That was his minimum fee release clause. Needed a new striker. Only 22 years of age, so I'm very happy with the signing of him. He's not so great in the air, only 5'8", but everything else he's very, very good. And he's a slight upgrade on Shakouris, in my opinion. 16 finishing, 17 technique, great pace as well. So very happy with the signing of Vitor Roque. As I said, Tchouaméni's joined the club. He has joined us for £140 million. Although I did say that the midfield is very, very strong, in terms of the actual roles I'm playing with, Guimaraes and Tonali, not the best in those roles, so that is why I bought these two players. Ugarte is a ball midfielder, and Tchouaméni is a segundo volante. £140 million for him is very expensive as well, but he's a world-class player along with Ugarte. Very, very good. He's got a lot of greens going on about. He's a very good player. Great passing, great marking, great tackling. He's just good. He's a good technical player, and he's very good defensively as well. Also very good physically. I feel like we've got, well, arguably the best centre midfielder partnership or DM partnership in the world now with Tchouaméni and Ugarte. I spent £360 million on these two players, but two players that are in the prime of their career and are outstanding players and probably two of the 10 best midfielders in the world. So very expensive, but it's a need-must situation now. We want to get to the best club in the world, and these two will hopefully get us there. And last and definitely least, I've signed Lucas Bergstrom from Chelsea for £1.1 million. The giant Finn, 6'8" he is, 20 jumping reach, 20 aerial reach as well. But clearly, as a goalkeeper, he's not amazing. But he's only here as a third choice goalkeeper because he's homegrown in the nation. So yeah, that is why I signed Lucas Bergstrom. Only £1.1 million as well. Not too expensive. Of course, I spent £750 million on players. I couldn't have done that without selling players. As you can see, £424 million worth of player sales. Plus around another £200 million at the start of the season. So I raised just north of £600 million worth of player sales. So that has to be taken into regard with all the money I've spent. So a big overhaul here in Season 5. An overhaul I think was needed though, to be honest with you. We won the Champions League last season, but we're not content with just that. We want to go on to bigger and better things. And we want to be known as the best club in the world. The first player to leave us is Yankuba Minte. He has joined Arsenal for £69 million. He's definitely a good player for us, but if you look at him, is he that amazing? I don't think so. You actually compare him with Ansu Fati. Ansu Fati is a much better player. He's 23 years of age now as well. I don't think he's much better than this. And £69 million is a very, very good fee. He's gone to Arsenal, a league rival of ours, but I'm not too disappointed about that, to be honest. Also, Harvey Elliott has joined Brighton for £25 million. Definitely don't work out for him at the club. He played in hardly any games at all, to be honest. He played in what? He played in 22 games. Well, no, he played in 18 games in total in 2 seasons here for us. He did not start a single game. He did not start a single game for the club, Harvey Elliott, which is absolutely ridiculous. Why has Tyndall not played him at all in the rebuild? I have no idea. But anyway, his Newcastle hell is over. He has gone to Brighton for £25 million. And Yeremy Pino has gone to Chelsea for £108 million, rising to £119 million. Was definitely a very good player for us in the first 2 seasons. Not too many goals to his name though. Many assists, but last season he fell on the pecking order. And £119 million is a lot of money for a fringe player at the club. So very happy with that sale as well. Still got £424 million worth of player sales to talk of though. Vladimir Dalla has gone to Derby on loan for the season. He's actually a very high prospect at the club here. You look at him, he's got very high potential, only 18 years of age, so hopefully he can develop at Derby. Good news about him is he's a homegrown player at the club. He came from our youth system, so hopefully he develops. A few youngsters left us on a free transfer. Alston's joined Real Madrid for £43 million. He's 31 years of age now, so very happy with that sale. Fresneda has joined Juventus for £46.5 million. Gone away from his style of player at right back now. Frimpong has replaced him effectively, so happy with that sale. Matisse Tell has joined Liverpool for £44 million. Hasn't really developed at the club too much, to be honest. Bit of a pointless signing, man. Saying that, I got £14 million profit on him. Joe Linton has finally left the club. Finally, he's gone to Real Sociedad for £22 million. So very happy with that. Also, Lewis Hall's finally left the club as well. He's gone to Valladolid for £26.5 million. Milinkovic-Savic, only 1 year after signing, he's gone to Porto for 40 million, but 40 million for a player we signed on a free transfer. Happy days. And I think it's clear to see that I've very much strengthened the DM position. So, yeah, great sale, that one. Oscar Gluck has joined Bayern Munich for £64 million, rising to £72 million. Again, another one didn't really develop too much here at the club, and definitely got better players than him in the position. But again, great profit on him, only signing for £20 million, so very happy with that. Valentin Barker has joined Real Madrid for £57 million. He is definitely a good player, but he is not the player I want in the club now. As you saw with my tactics, I've gone with a fullback and support left back, and Barco is clearly not suited to that role. But again, great profit on him, only signing for 14 million. Also, Victor Gyökeres has joined Barcelona for £76 million. Wasn't really too happy with him, to be honest. His goal record, last season he got 15 goals in the league in total, but a poor average rating, only 7 goals the season before that. That is why I signed Victor Roque to replace him, and they're both swapped places effectively, because he's gone to Barcelona. And also, Lewis Miley has joined Atlanta on loan for the season. He keeps developing, that is nice. And Harvey Barnes is on loan to Lille for the season. He's in the final year of his contract, but unfortunately, I could not sell him. So, lots of players left us, and lots of players have joined us. And I feel like the team is looking unbelievable now, to be honest. We look at the starting 11 now. It looks absolutely unbelievable. We've got Costa in goal, Livramento right back, Hincapié left back, Pavlovic and Scalvini centre backs. Then we've got Ugarte and Tchouaméni DMs. Florian Wirtz the attacking midfielder, Silva on the right, Fati on the left, and Vitor Roque up front. So, surely now in Season 5, we have to win the league title. Will we do it? Let's find out. Well, I did say we have to win the league title with this team, and we won the league title, and by quite a convincing margin as well. We got 98 points in this season. We also only lost 2 games all season as well, but 98 points is absolutely outstanding. So I think it's safe to say that money I spent definitely was well spent. 13 points clear of Chelsea, Man United in 2nd and 3rd place, and 15 points clear of Man City in 4th place. Look at how high the points tallies are, by the way. The top 4 it really did run ragged this season. Well, the top 5, Arsenal in there as well. But us, the best, the cream of the crop, shall I say, 98 points for us and a plus 71 goal difference. So, Season 5, we've finally won our first league title, our 6th trophy in total, of course, to go along with the Champions League, the Europa League, the FA Cup, the Super Cup, and the Community Shield. We won the Super Cup again, which is great. Unfortunately, though, we were knocked down in the quarter-final by PSG in the Champions League, so we couldn't defend our crown. We couldn't get to our 4th European final in a row, but we won the Champions League last season, so not too disappointed about that. I'm very happy we won the league title, though. Again, we've won the FA Cup, though. The 2nd time we won the FA Cup. So, again, we've ended the season with a treble, effectively. The Premier League, the FA Cup, and the Super Cup. So, it's now 8 trophies now in just 3 seasons for the club. So, I think it's safe to say that we have really gone places in this season. In terms of standout performers in this season as well, Florian Wirtz, as I mentioned before, in the Man United rebuild, didn't work out too well for him. But in the Newcastle rebuild, it's definitely worked out for him. 21 goals and 20 assists for him this season. By far our best player, absolutely outstanding. Joel Hato again with another great season. Jacob Ramsey did well, 14 goals, 8 assists. Tchouaméni was great with 14 goals and 7 assists. Diogo Costa again, brilliant. Frimpong did really well. Todibo as well. Livramento another great season. Manuel Ugarte, he proved crucial. 1 goal and 6 assists for him with a 7.02. So what a great season for us, Season 5. Won the league title now. We've actually won 8 trophies in total now. And the only one actually eluding us is the Carabao Cup. Obviously not the most important trophy, but it would be nice to win it. I feel like the team is pretty much rebuilt now, to be honest. If we do win the league title in Season 6, I think that'll be the end of the rebuild. We've won the Champions League already. It'd be nice to win another one, but back-to-back league titles, and I think it's safe to say that Newcastle have been rebuilt. Well, the start of Season 6 here, and possibly the last season as well. As I said, if we win the league title, it will be the last season. Back-to-back league titles in the Champions League. I think it's safe to say Newcastle have been rebuilt. Spent not even half the money as last season, only just shy of £300 million, but 2 of those signings are absolutely incredible. Let's get to them now. Well, the first player to join us was Mads Jensen. He joined us from FC Copenhagen for £2.5 million. Again, another young player. He's coming to the under-21 squad for the future of Newcastle, so not much to mention about him. The next signing, though, Yamal Musiala. For the Man United rebuild, I spent over £220 million on him. I got him for almost £100 million less this time. £125 million only for Yamal Musiala from Bayern Munich. An absolutely incredible signing this. An incredible player. Another bonus, he's homegrown in the nation since he came through the Chelsea Youth Academy. But most importantly, he's just absolutely ridiculous, isn't he? Why am I signing Musiala when I've got Florian Wirtz ready at the club? Well, Musiala and Wirtz can both play on the left and the right if needed, and I feel like that's a great option to have. I was looking for a great right winger to replace Bernardo Silva, who's 33 now and left the club. Lamine Yamal hasn't quite developed to the player I wanted him to be, but it was just no other choice really. I could either sign Musiala or a good right winger, and I chose Musiala, of course. £125 million for a player of his standard is an absolute steal. He's an unbelievable player. 18 vision, 18 technique, 19 dribbling, 18 agility, 17 composure. He's absolutely unbelievable. And £125 million is just ridiculous for a player of his standard. So absolutely fantastic signing in my opinion. And the next big one to join us is Eduardo Camavinga. Another one from Real Madrid. He joins us for £190 million. I actually tried to sign him last season instead of Tchouaméni, but unfortunately he agreed to sign a new contract for Real Madrid. But never mind, he's joined us this season, and now the DM position is just looking absolutely ridiculous. Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Guimaraes, and Ugarte. Can't get much better than that, can you? Can't get much better than that. He's an unbelievable player, Camavinga. The great thing about him is he's great in numerous different roles. Ball midfield and defend, and a segundo volante and support. He's great in both positions, and segundo volante is where I'll be, hopefully the assistant will be playing him most of the time. He's great physically, 18 stamina, 17 pace, 17 strength as well, 18 work rate. What more can I say about him? He's just an unbelievable player, and I've strengthened the team drastically again with Camavinga and Musiala both joining the club. And also, Jose Roberto has joined us from Lesca Mineiro, I think that is, in Brazil for £15.25 million. He's gone back on loan to there for the season. Another one who's for Newcastle's future. I said I spent just shy of £300 million. I was meant to say I spent just shy of £350 million. But anyway, Camavinga and Musiala, two unbelievable signings. Now to the players that left us, have raised just over £140 million worth of player sales. And the first one to leave us was Rooney Bargi. He has joined Monaco with £28 million. He wasn't happy with his game time. He was homegrown at the club now, been here since he was 17 years of age, but he wasn't happy. He's also in his final season of final year of his contract, so I had to cash in on Bargi. But good news is Yamal is now homegrown at the club. We've also got some other players homegrown at the club as well, so not too sad to see Bargi leave. He definitely added to the squad, but no more than a fringe player, so happy to see the back of Bargi. And the other players to leave us, well, Sandro Tonali has left the club. He's joined Inter Milan for £34.5 million. I think it's safe to say he's gone down the pecking order now with these world-class midfielders I've signed. Again, he was in the last year of his contract, so not too sad to see him leave. Definitely a good player, but we've got some outstanding DMs at the club now, so not too sad to see him leave. Bernardo Silva has joined Al Nassr for £65 million. He is 33 now, about to turn 34. He's starting to decline, and I thought it'd be proactive to replace him now. Effectively, I've replaced him with Jamal Musiala, so very happy with that. And £65 million for a 34-year-old, very nice. He only played 2 seasons for us. He definitely served a purpose though. But as you can see from his average rating last season, the decline has already started, so I've decided to cash in on him whilst I still can. Trevor Sanusi has joined Hull for £8 million as well, a youngster here at the club. Definitely had some potential, but with the way the club is going, nowhere near ready for first team football. And the other 5 players have let us on loan, including Elliot Anderson, who's joined Villarreal on loan for the season, with a view to a permanent signing, because Lewis Miley is finally in the first team now to replace Elliot Anderson as our homegrown midfielder. Now if we look at the starting 11, it's looking even better, looking absolutely ridiculous. The back 5 hasn't changed. Costa, Frimpong, Scalvini, Hincapié and Hato, but also we've got great cover in that area as well, such as Todibo, Pavlovic, Livramento as well. The midfield, best position at the club in my opinion. We've got Camavinga and Ugarte as starting DMs. We've also got Tchouaméni and Guimaraes at the club as well. And the front 4 as well, looking even better. We've got Fati on the right wing to replace Silva, Musiala on the left wing, Wirtz in the attacking midfield, and Vitor Roque up front. If I'm being picky, I feel like we could sign a better striker than Roque. Also, I feel like we could sign an elite centre-back as well. But other than that, I think the team is looking very complete, especially in the midfield. The midfield 5 there, I don't think you can get much better than that, to be honest. Ugarte, Camavinga, Fati, Wirtz, and Musiala. So surely here in Season 6, we have to win back-to-back league titles. If we do, the rebuild is over. But hopefully, we can win a Champions League as well. Can we do it? Let's find out. Well, this will be the end of the rebuild because we have won the league title again, and by a convincing fashion again. We've got 87 points this time, so a bit less than last season, but 6 points clear at the top over Chelsea, and we have a plus 65 goal difference as well. So back-to-back league titles for us and a Champions League. Looking very, very good here with Newcastle, and I think it's safe to say they have been rebuilt. In terms of the Champions League, unfortunately, we only managed to win it one time in the rebuild. Got knocked out in the semi-final by Man City. The FA Cup as well, knocked down a quarter-final West Ham. Thankfully, though, we won the Carabao Cup as well, so we almost completed the set. The only thing we failed to win was the Club World Championship. We won the Carabao Cup, which is great. We also won the Community Shield as well. So for the third season in a row, we have won 3 trophies. And that is now 11 trophies in total in the rebuild. So that is absolutely fantastic. 11 trophies in just 4 seasons. Brilliant. And back-to-back league titles. I think it's safe to say we are the best team in England right now. So that is great. In terms of the squad, well, Florian Wirtz, again, player of the season. 16 goals and 18 assists for him. Jerry Frimpong did really well as well. Camavinga was a great signing. Of course he would be. Ramsey did really well. Hato, Fati as well. So yeah, another great season here with Newcastle. So in terms of the actual trophies we won in total, we won 1 Champions League in 2027. We won 2 Premier League titles, of course, back-to-back in Season 5 and Season 6. We won 2 FA Cups as well. We won 2 UEFA Super Cups back-to-back. We also won the Europa League. We won the Carabao Cup just gone this season. And we also won 2 Community Shields. So 11 trophies in total. All of those came in 4 seasons as well. So I think it's safe to say Newcastle have been rebuilt and looking like the best team in the world, let's be honest. In terms of the squad and the size of the club as well. As I said, I feel like they need another striker and a centre-back, and that could complete the club, but can't really complain too much. Unbelievable. In terms of the amount of money I spent for this rebuild, I spent £2 billion, not £2 million, on the Man United rebuild. Well, for this rebuild here with Newcastle, I spent just shy of £2.1 billion. Also worth mentioning, I spent that in 6 seasons, where Man United, I spent £2 billion in 8 seasons. So definitely, you've got the finances here for Newcastle, but I think it's safe to say the team definitely needs a lot of rebuilding. The squad depth is absolutely terrible at the start of the rebuild here, and the players aren't great, let's be honest. But now the squad is looking really complete. That is the end of the video, though, guys. I think it's safe to say Newcastle have been rebuilt. If you have watched the entirety of the video, well, thank you very much. Please make sure you hit that like button for me. And also, if you're new around here, do hit that subscribe button as well. It really helped me out, and it's much appreciated. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.